With Anna, the social worker can demonstrate all four of the roles. So, something that's important that we noted within our skit is that coming out is a process, and it's a process for all individuals involved in it. So, in that regards, we would be a collaborator because we would help Anna um, navigate that process, understand those processes, and help her to make her own plans in regard to those processes, depending on which different ways people react and which different things happen in her life. Anna is a queer Latina immigrant who is working in construction. So she has a different experience than any of us as social workers. And she is the master of her own existence. She's the most knowledgeable person about it. So the social worker would need to be the critical question poser in this scenario, so that they can learn more about her experiences, her culture, how she interprets things, um, so that we could work to better understand the situations and better offer assistance and ideas on working towards solutions for problems that may arise. Um, when we talk to Anna about indirect power blocks, when we connect her to advocacy groups, when we talk about researching the laws in the state, we are power equalizers with Anna because knowledge is power. And in regards, we're also a co-activist because we are connecting her to groups that can best advocate for her, and also connecting her to groups where she can advocate for herself.
Well, thank you for sharing all that, Anna. Sounds like a lot is going on right now. You mentioned that the men at your work are making more money than you are. What's stopping you from asking for a raise?
Well, my ex-girlfriend told me that there wasn't a lot of workplace protections for people like me in Texas. I'm female, queer, and I'm an immigrant, so I'm just afraid that my job could retaliate against me.
So, if I understand you correctly, you're scared because the state doesn't have GLBTQ protections in the workplace, and you're scared you might lose your job because of that if you rock the boat?
Yes.
That is a structural and legal challenge. Are you familiar with the term direct power block?
No.
It's just a barrier that makes accessing resources harder or impossible almost. That's what this law kind of is. The lack of laws could be seen as a direct power block. Have you researched the laws in the state?
Not really. I just don't think I would really understand them if I did. The language barrier.
Well, if you want, we can research them together, and we can see what laws are there that might help protect you. If you want, we can do that.
Yeah, I would like that.
What else is stopping you from asking for a raise?
Well, I'm also an immigrant, and I'm just afraid of discrimination, and I just don't want to lose my job.
There are groups in the state that help people in your situation, and they can help you advocate for yourself to try to get a better wage, a more fair wage. If you want, I can put you in touch with some of those groups.
Okay.
You also mentioned that your sexuality and your family. Why haven't you come out to your parents?
Well, they're Catholics, and I was raised Catholics, and so in Catholicism, we learned that being gay is a sin, and so I'm just afraid that my parents are going to reject me and they're going to see me differently.
So this sounds like an indirect power block, which, just to clarify, it's the stories we tell ourselves, and we get these stories from our lived experiences and the messages we receive. What assumptions are you making about your parents, and how can we reframe them?
Well, I guess I'm just assuming that because they're Catholic that they would see me that way. they would see me as different, or they would judge me, but maybe they wouldn't, but I really feel like they would, because that's all I've known my life.
So coming out is a process, and we can work together to make this process as easy for you as can be and as comfortable as we can make it. And we can also prepare for two scenarios. Best case, you come out and your parents accept you, or worst case, you come out and there's a strain in the relationship, and we can prepare for both if you would like to work together to do that. But even after you come out, it's still a process, and if your family is willing and if you think it would be helpful, I'd be happy to work with all of you together to make this process as easy as possible as well.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
Okay, we can definitely plan on that. So you also mentioned that you had an ex-girlfriend. So did you guys just recently break up?
Yeah, we broke up a while ago, and it was my first relationship with a woman, and so the breakup's just been really hard. Like, I don't know how to deal with it, and I feel like I can't tell people about it.
How have you been coping? What are some of the ways?
I don't really think I have been coping. I just keep a lot of things to myself, because I don't feel like people would understand me if I expressed what I was feeling.
Well, I want to give you the space to be as open as you want to be and tell me how you're feeling and be honest. This is a safe space. I'm here to help you, and I'm here to advocate for you. So if you ever want to talk, I'm here. And we can have that space together. I will be willing to give you any resources or any type of recommendations I can. So this space is safe for both of us. So what are some of the areas in your life you feel you have control over?
Well, I do have a few friends here that I think they understand me, but I'm not really sure. I also work really hard at my job, and I feel like I'm independent.
Well, you did immigrate from another country here by yourself. That's pretty independent, Anna. It sounds like you have a lot of strengths, and I think we can definitely tap into those strengths in our work together and utilize those strengths to make our process much easier, and use those strengths to help empower you. Does that sound good?
Yes.
When working with Anna, we would specifically recommend two change strategies. The first would be to connect her to an LGBTQI support group. Since she is a person who's just begun to live as an out queer woman and have out relationships, we think it'd be very beneficial for her to speak to a support group composed of individuals who have similar experiences, are of a similar identity, and they could provide insight and resources that we as social workers who may be in a different community would not necessarily be connected to. We would also recommend that she reaches out to a community resource center. Specifically, we were thinking along the lines of United Way Thrive. That could help address some of the issues she has in regards to feeling like she can't ask for a raise or she can't seek another job. United Way Thrive could help coach her on how to ask for a raise, as well as work on her resume and interviewing skills, so if she does decide to go to a different job, she would have resources and the soft skills to pull upon for that. Similarly, the program offers connections to educational resources, so maybe Anna would like to enroll in a community college program so that she could shift to a different career path. That would provide her a little bit more financial security and also help her feel a little bit better about the environment that she's in. Thrive also offers financial planning, so they could teach her how to budget, so whenever she's transitioning to a new job, she'll be financially ready. We believe that these change strategies could be evaluated through qualitative and quantitative ways. Quantitatively, we could use scales so that we could track how her depressed feelings as well as her feelings of anxiety. We could also track how much money she's saving, how many interviews she's been on, and the like. qualitatively, we could track how she's feeling, how much self-efficacy she believes she has, and how confident and optimistic she feels.